Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. At the end of a pretty crazy week, I think it's fair to say. So if you've been following along, you'll know that the new Extra3.0 mods by Triton Supreme and all of the asset packs which came with the launch have all now dropped on PDX Mods. And if you haven't heard, Extra3.0 finally gave us surfaces and my favourite part, decals. And in today's episode, I'm going to use the new mods and assets, and I'm going to show you how to create a realistic beach in Cities Skylines 2. So Extra3.0 is a collection of mods, and we've just had two new mod releases, Extra Detailing Tools and Extra Assets Importer release on PDX Mods. Now, we've been working on Extra3.0 for around 4 months now. This was originally scheduled for release on Thunderstore. We were only a few weeks away from release when PDX Mods got announced. Unfortunately, the new platform is set us back around 2 months as the mod had to be remade. But to finally get here, to finally release them, really does make me proud of what our team has achieved. Now, I don't think you understand just how happy it makes me having all of these new tools, not as someone who was involved in the project, but as a player, as a detailer, to now be able to inject so much personality into our cities. It really is game-changing stuff. So before we get into today's episode, I want to thank the Extra3.0 team, Triton, YenYang, CityRat, Dome, Tigon, Jay and Brucey, all the testers and people who contributed to its development. A special thanks also to the awesome content creators who've had early access. And to you all, there's been such a great response to the mods, and seeing so many people reinstalling the game and having fun, it really has been great to see. But of course, it is important to understand that this is unofficial modding. You know, there is of course a risk when editor drops, they will break. But we are hopeful based on what we know at the moment. And you know, we will of course do our best to transition them in future when official support does eventually arrive. So before we get into the video, please consider leaving a like and comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. You can also support me over on Patreon if you enjoy what I do. And also, I've linked my Discord down below if you'd like to share your work and see what others are creating. And with that being said, let's get into it. So I've created a whole bunch of different decal and surface packs for release, including graffiti, stains and cracks. But there's 3 packs in particular which work slightly differently, my golden and white sand beaches and my riverbeds pack. Each pack comes with matching surfaces and decals, and there's a whole bunch of different options. They have been designed to help create a natural transition from the water to surface to terrain. I've edited some settings so we can layer these textures together. So the first texture we will use is the base texture. So we'll draw this out across the length of our beach. Next, we have a slightly darker shade, and this is to replicate wet sand on the water's edge for a more realistic look. So you don't want to draw them out alongside each other, otherwise you'd get this like line showing in between. Instead, we want to make sure that we're overlapping the textures. And then another slightly darker shade for wet sand. On the terrain side, we have 3 different thicknesses of patchy sand, so this will help blend the texture more naturally into the grass. Each different texture, the sand patches get thinner, so we're on our way to creating a more natural look. And already that's looking pretty decent, we're definitely getting there. So next up, we can add some decals to really make this feel a bit more natural. So the 2 larger decals are colour matched to the wet sand surfaces. So if I place some decals over the top of the surface line, you'll see it disappear. Then on the other side, we have a bunch of different thicknesses and options. We want the texture to be way more natural, so I'm going to place some patches around and try and break up these lines a little. So that's the main process for how to apply the surfaces and decals together. So let's take that method and we'll apply it to this beach. And in hindsight, I probably should have picked a much smaller beach to do this on, but I will speed run us through it. You'll see I'm quite loose with where the textures are going, not just keeping it to straight lines. It really does make a huge difference. With the wet sand light, I tend to make this about 1 to 2 meters away from the water's edge. And then the darker wet sand, I put this just above the shoreline. So with each of these different patches, I'm trying to be a bit more loose with where they go, trying to think about the footpaths leading up to the beach, moving them in and around trees. I also do a similar technique here with my riverbed textures, layering them together, also trying to blend them in with the sand. So you may have noticed all these textures were a bit later being released than the Extra3.0 mod release. Unfortunately, these last few days I've had issues trying to upload them, which is due to the maximum file limit on PDX Mods. Originally I had 4K textures, then I tried 2K, 1K, and then with no success I eventually made the mod live as a 512, a fairly low resolution version. So I do actually have 4K textures available as a local mod if you want them, and you can see them in much more detail. I have made these available for free right now on my Discord, Patreon and the Cities Skylines modding server. I will link these down below in the description. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the surfaces in now, and it's looking great. So let's move on to decals. These will help make the surfaces feel a bit more natural and blend them in. So I'm going to be using mostly the same techniques as in the intro, trying to break up the straight lines, adding a few more random patches and areas, and blend it all in together. So I'll leave you now for a quick time lapse as I add them all in. This is all looking super good right now, and yeah, next we'll move on to foliage. So alongside the Extra3.0 mod release, YenYang has also dropped some incredible new features to both Anarchy and Better Bulldozer. Now we've been testing these features for quite a while now, and none of us even thought about doing this, but one of the content creators, $2.20, came up with quite a genius idea, which I'm just straight up using. I've wanted to do this for so long. So the latest Anarchy mod update comes with two main features, so you can now select the height you want to place an object before you even place it, and a toggle which can lock the elevation of a prop. So you can even terraform around the prop and it would just never move. So $2.20 worked out that you can use negative values and lower trees and bushes into the ground. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, you have grass sprites. Oh boy, we are well and truly back, aren't we? So I really need to go to town on these right now. Using a whole bunch of different bushes and trees for colour and variety. Well, I'm placing them one by one, but don't worry, I have already spoken with YenYang, and we're going to see if we can add this tool to the forest brush tool, which would really take this up another level. So next up, we have to add in all these amazing new palm trees, don't we? And I'm going to show you a really cool trick using the new Extra Detailing Tools mod. So a more natural thing to do with palm trees, rather than scatter them around randomly, is put them in clusters. This is often how palm trees appear in real life. But the issue then is that the leaves are all like just on top of each other. So this is where the EDT transform menu comes in really handy. We can change both the position and rotation of objects now with this tool. So the Y axis would move the object up and down, and the X and Z is side to side and front to back. There is also an increment value, 1 meaning 1 unit in game. So if you change the position increment down to 0.1, you can get very precise. And for our palm trees here, we're going to use the rotation. So I'm going to change the increment to 5 degrees. If I change these values, you'll see the palm tree can now be rotated. So we can now go through and start to mix up all of the different directions of our palm trees. Again, adds into the realism. Okay, so we can do a whole bunch of detailing now. I will add boulders, rocks, bushes, blankets, parasols, and we'll come back for the final few steps in the build. Okay, so to close out today's build and to put the final touches to a really cool natural looking beach, we can add in some final decals of mine seafoam. But before we do, I just want to do a bit of terraforming, so decals will follow the terrain. So if my water is too deep, it won't look so good, so I want to make the water to be as shallow as possible, so the decals are only slightly below the water surface. Cool, and now that's done, we can add in the seafoam. I've created a whole bunch of different sizes and shapes so you can mix up the variety, and we'll just start by adding them in to the water's edge. So yeah, that's mostly it from me now. Hopefully this has given you some inspiration to start detailing and how to use my custom surfaces and decals to create very natural looking beaches. So this was just a quick video to show you these new assets. I will of course be featuring extra detailing tools and extra assets importer much more in future videos. But for now I need a few days off. Now this launch is done, I can concentrate again on the big episode, so stay tuned for that. So the Extra3.0 mods by Triton Supreme are available right now. Make sure you go and grab Anarchy and Better Bulldozer by YenYang too. So all of my decals and surfaces are available right now on PDX Mods, so you can go and grab them. The 4K textures are also available locally through my Discord, Patreon and the Cities Skylines modding server. Make sure you also give me a follow on PDX Mods and like the assets. In fact, while you're there, go and give Triton, Yen, Dome, Tigon, Brucey, the whole gang a follow. I'll let them know how much you appreciate the new mods. So happy detailing. Please share your creations with us on Discord, we'd love to see. And that's all for me. I'll catch you all again in the next video.